Okay. All right, guys, we are on day 2 of the lesson plan with me. Today, we're going to be talking about using pre-planned material. So material, basically, like if you were using a box curriculum or something to that effect, and how to maneuver that and make sure that it fits your personal schedule. So that's what we're talking about today, okay? But before we get that far, I am going to share my screen so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I am getting ready to add, let's see. Okay, so this is the wheel that I'll be using for the giveaway. And so those who did their homework, whoever's first, I want you to answer the question. Let me know what you got. And if you got it, I'll add you to the wheel to spin at the end of the week. So who wants to go first?
I'll go. I missed the live yesterday, but I watched it,
Okay.
and I'm from Texas. So like you said, Texas is really easy, but I did go in. I have a kind of a third, fourth grader and a kinder first grade. They're kind of in between.
Mhm.
So I did the math. I got some kinder standards for math, and
Okay.
just to make sure I don't go advanced, so I did kinder math and first, and then I did third grade math and fourth grade math. So
Okay.
just kind of a hodgepodge for
So
the
you got
standards.
your standards there. So I'm going to add you to the wheel. And as you can see, you're floating around in all blue right now
Yeah.
because there's nobody else. Okay.
Cool.
Did anybody else get their work done? As I typed your name wrong. How about that? There we go.
I've looked up the standards for New York. It's like a whole list though, like how yours was a couple of pages long.
Yeah.
I did history. I pretty much copied all of them in my files for history, science, math, and ELA. I feel like with you, I will work with history.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Did you want me to say what some of the standards were?
Yeah, just give me a couple.
Sixth grade.
Yeah, just give me a couple.
And, just let me see. History. Go to it. Sorry. History.
I know, but I'm actually picked up.
Where is it? So it says it has tiers like for standard 1, 2, 3. So standard 1 says history of the United States,
Mhm.
and then like 2 just says world history, 3 geography, and then they break it down some more. We go into we have elementary standard 1,
Okay.
which is just the study of the United States. Students should know the roots of American culture, development, how many different traditions, ways many people vary in groups and backgrounds. It's a whole list here.
So you got it. Okay. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Okay. Sharita, I saw that you said that you had yours. So what you got for me? What did you find out, Sharita?
I actually I looked up the states and I had the same one. I had the Michigan Department of Education's requirements, but I also saw the World Book, and I like there's a. So I'm going to actually go over the I think I got it off of Holden. I don't remember where I got it from.
Okay.
But they have a typical course study for each grade level.
Okay.
But I do have the one for Michigan, and for my, I just do one of mine for my 5th grader.
All righty. So I have added, Hawana, did you have yours?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm in Maryland.
Okay. And what did you find out about yours?
I did like each subject. Like I look like it's the same. It's like everyone else's. It's like the basics.
Okay. So nothing in particular. What about, did anybody have anything in there that talked about the amount of minutes or anything like that to that effect, the amount of hours, anything like that?
No. I didn't.
Okay.
It's not, Maryland's not really that complicated. it's kind of sort of like, I guess Texas, like they're not really complicated as long as you do the basics.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I will continue to add. If I'll check your homework again the next day. And if you have it the next day, you get another entry in for that as far as that's concerned. So keep up with your work, y'all. Look, it's spinning already. Hold on. And there's people in the waiting room too. Let's do that. So I admitted all those people. Okay. And that's how it worked. But you didn't win, Hawana, because I did it too early. So
Oh,
ignore
man.
that. I know, right? I know, right? So these guys are coming in. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to stop sharing here. So this is saved. It'll pull up the whatever it is that I have, it'll pull up. I'll save it now. So when I open it back up tomorrow, all your names will still be there, and we'll just continue to add on to those ones. Okay. All right. So we're going to get started. I'm not going to be before you long, of course. Go ahead, DeQuisha, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just going to talk about mine.
Go ahead. I'm
good?
sorry. Yeah. Go
No.
ahead.
So I'm in Nebraska, and I went through and hit every subject, main subject. There's no timing for ours as well, but I found a couple that, told me, like for the social studies one, it said that your state standards for social studies, my state standards are for my child to respect the rights, rules, and responsibilities, and students begin to learn the basic concepts of fairness and respect for the rights and the opinions of others in the classroom. Since I'm homeschooling, and it's just my almost 5-year-old and my 2-year-old, I'm assuming that dynamic will happen just amongst them. And then I put role plays and social interactions to like pre-teach to when we're doing play dates, because
Okay.
we don't have that classroom environment, but also just teaching those social skills that I had from my Boys Town Common Sense parenting to help them understand the rights and fairness and things like that.
Okay. Sounds good. That's pretty detailed. So for those of you who are just going in, we're going over the homework, and you are more than welcome. I'd prefer that you come on and tell me what you found out about your standards. And as you tell me, I will add you to the wheel. And the more you do your homework, the more opportunities you'll have to win the actual giveaway at the end of the week. I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do one for this week and one for next week. So if anyone else wants to tell me about their homework, they're more than welcome to do that right now. Don't all speak at once, okay, y'all? All right, I'm gonna close it up, okay? Oh, I did it again, Hawana. Look, I did it again. Okay, let's see. Hawana, if you win again, it's fixed. Look, you won again. Okay. Okay, let me save this. So I'm gonna save this. And I'm wondering if, because I spun it, if I do need to create a new one. We'll deal with that later, but it's saved and we'll come back to that at the end of the week. Okay, so continue to do homework. Every time you do your homework and you come in and tell me what's going on, what you did, I will add you to the wheel, and I'll do a giveaway on Friday and then the next Friday as well. Okay. So again, we're talking about using basically pre-planned material, right? So I'm not going to have a bunch of slides or anything to share. For those of you that came in, I apologize if I'm speaking quietly or anything like that. I scheduled an appointment for my boys to get relocked, retwisted, and one to get braided and forgot. So I am at the library while they are at the place getting their hair relocked. So just to let you know what's going on. So I apologize for that. That's typically not how I do things, but we're rolling, right? I got my Wi-Fi. We're good. We're good. Okay. So again, with that said, so if my Wi-Fi trips out, okay, and y'all get kicked out of the meeting, just wait for me. I'll come restart it and we'll be good to go. Okay. So we're going to talk about using pre-planned material. And when I'm speaking of pre-planned material, I'm thinking something like, so like the IXL, something like that, or a Becca Sunlight, I told you guys that we use IEW, all of those types of things. So we're talking about using those. And I showed you yesterday, and I don't have it with me, of course, because I'm not in my office, but how IEW had their days planned. So the way that IEW would work is that it would give you on day one, I want you to write your keyword outline. I want you to watch this video. I want you to summarize what you read. And then day two, it would go deeper into that same lesson. And so what we're going to talk about is how to take those particular lessons and either break them down and make them bigger. So say your child is not understanding them, or to kind of crunch them in and put them all in one is what we're going to talk about. What I would say more than anything else is that you know your child, right? You know what they can learn, you know the capability, what they can intake, right? We all know when our kids reach that moment where they're like, nah, fam, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. We know that level. And so what you want to do is I literally, and you know what? I wonder if I have elemental science. That might be one I can show you on here. I apologize again. I'm gonna stop apologizing. It's gonna be the last time. My husband tells me I apologize too much after I've addressed an issue. But it's just I want everything to be perfect type situation. Let me see if I can find elemental science, find theirs real quick for you. And I'll show you how I actually break down their stuff. I'm going to do it. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to have to go through my email. You know what? No, I can't, because I've downloaded it too much. Never mind. So it's saved on my big computer and I'm on my laptop. Basically, what I do as far as elemental science, this particular course is a high school course. And if you follow me at all, then you know that my youngest is 11 years old and he's taking that high school course. And so the way that I use their pre-planned lessons to help me and to help him is that I take out things that don't necessarily matter, or I take out things or change things that may be too detailed. So he is taking a high school physics course with his brother who is in 9th grade. And it's very detailed, right? Because they're in 9th grade. They want them to read, they want them to know the Newton formula, all that kind of stuff. They want them to know the definitions, all of that good stuff. And so in order for me to break that down into bite-sized pieces, I have to break that down further into multiple lessons for him. And so that's another way to do when you're homeschooling multiple children, but you want to all kind of teach the same thing. So my 9th grader and my, he's 6th grade, they're both taking that physics class. My 9th grader will have the definitions. It is required for him to remember Newton's law. It's required for him to remember the formula. My 11-year-old, because I know what he can handle, he is required to know the definitions, but his definitions are way different than my 9th grader, right? They have been broken down real easy. It means this, like, basically instead of the full, physical scientific definition of what it is. The formula, I don't have him memorize the formula. I have it posted for him to use. So his will be different. As far as the reading that he has to do, the reading is cut down into bite-sized pieces. So instead of doing, you're going to read pages 103 to 107. And if y'all have ever been a part of elemental science, the reading it's small writing, but it's a lot of like reading. And so what I do is break that up. Okay, you're going to read half of this page today, and then tomorrow or later on, I will summarize the other half of that page. So you don't have to read it. So that's basically how you're doing that pre-planned material. And that's a trick to also, homeschooling multiple children at the same time with one curriculum, is that you're teaching it based on their needs and what they can handle. We all know our babies, right? We know them. We know when they get to that minute where they're like, they just don't want to do it. So they're goofing off or clowning. But then you also know when it's just frustrating and they've had enough. And so it's important that we find that fine line between the two and do exactly what it is that we need to do to make sure that they're good. So I'll stop there for a second and then I'll go on to the next one. But does anybody have any questions concerning that? No? Thumbs up for me if you're good. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
My thing is that I want to prepare him the time to learning. This is my first year doing this.
Mhm.
And the time to learning, they have someone teaching the whole thing first. How do you mix it together with you trying to teach it to them and then the program teaching it to them?
Okay, say that one more time so I make sure I understood what you're saying.
With time for learning, that they have the person, this is someone teaching to the course to the child. And
Okay,
I feel like sometimes I want to come in and help teach it too, but then it's like it would take up a lot of time them watching them teaching it and with me trying to teach it to them as well.
so are they watching a
So
video?
yeah, it's like a video.
Okay.
It goes through introduction first and then lets them do it, and then it's like a quiz at the end.
Okay. So there are times in certain curriculums where I have to watch the videos in advance to see if it's going to be what I need it to be. And when I say watching in advance, it's not sitting there watching a 30 or 45 minutes, because who has time to do that for 3 kids? But it's more so of skimming through it. So I may do the beginning, the middle, and the end and determine what it is. Or there are times, to be very honest, that we have started a video and the teacher is teaching. And I'm like, nah, kid, this ain't it. Like, this ain't working. And so we'll stop in the middle of the video and I will teach whatever it is I need to teach. So there will be times, of course, because we're customizing this journey for our kids. And again, we're in tune with our babies. So we know when they're not understanding. We know when they're not getting it. We know when the teacher's not reaching them like they're supposed to. So in that moment, there may be times where you have to pause that video and say, okay, guys, erase that. We're going to start over. We're going to do this instead. Okay.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. So be mindful of that. That happens a lot. And I mean, it happens, especially in the physics class, because the way that the physics class works is that it has several little videos that go along with it. It's got reading, it's got all that stuff. And then we're watching the reading and it's got samples of the experiment and we're watching the experiment. And this is how my kids are looking. And I'm like, oh no, they're not getting it. That's not it. So then I have to stop it. I'm saying, okay, let's break it down. Let's take a step backwards. What do we need to do from here? Okay, where do we start from here? So yeah, there will be times, 100% Ingrid, that you will get into stuff and you're like, okay, this seems cool. And then you're kind of listening on the side, like, wait a minute, this ain't it. Like, this ain't gonna work. Okay. Did that answer your
Right.
question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. Did anybody else have any questions? Go ahead, DeQuisha, go ahead.
So for the pre-planned materials, you said IXL, IEW, Becca. I have a 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old. Would you consider like an ABC Mouse or Reading Eggs pre-planned material?
Yes, but the difference between them is, so when I'm saying, well, ish, how about that? Yes, ish.
Mhm.
Because when I'm saying pre-plan is that they're literally laying out the work. So they're saying we have 36 weeks worth of schoolwork, and on this week you're
Got it.
going to do that.
Okay.
And so ABC Mouse wouldn't necessarily be that, but kind of, because it is pre-planned, because they've got everything laid out for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Did anybody else have any more questions about what I just spoke about? No? Okay, so we talked about elemental science. So y'all got hip to some more information on how to homeschool multiple kids. People ask that all the time, and that's what it is. That is literally how my 11-year-old is taking a high school course right now. Are there hard days? Yes. Are there days that he doesn't get it at all? Are there days we have to repeat lessons? Yes, because he's 11, right? So he's not going to understand everything. And then sometimes his mama is all off base. Like, sometimes I'm not in the mood and I done taught it wrong, or, messed up or confused him or something like that. So you have options is what I'm saying. If you're using, like DeQuisha was talking about, like ABC Mouse or IXL or something like that. And let's go into IXL. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to share my screen and let's go into IXL, and we can use their system. And again, I tell people, ask all the time, is IXL a curriculum? It is not a curriculum. It's basically a digital workbook. You are still responsible for teaching the lessons, but this is the workbook or the worksheets that go along with it. That's probably the easiest way to think about IXL. Is it a great tool? Absolutely. But if you're taking your child and you're sitting them in front of IXL all day, every day, they're having to figure out the lesson without you teaching it. Do you get what I'm saying? They're having to practice it, but not get the teaching part of it, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So for instance, this would be planned, pre-planned-ish, right? Because it has everything that's laid out for you, right? And so for me, what I would do is I would go through A, which we're talking about number sense right here. Okay. And I would go through all of these and I would pick which ones I believe they need the most. Like this is, this is focus, what we need. Writing numbers up to 1,000. Well, at this age, this is fourth grade. My kid's not in fourth grade, but this is fourth grade. My fourth grader is going to know how to write 857 at this point. So I'm not going to put that in his part of his lessons because he's going to know how to do that. Okay. Back down here, let's see, spelling word names for numbers up to 1 million. So again, my kid, we're not going to do that because he knows how to do that. And so I would pick things. We may do the prime and composite numbers so that just as a refresher or something to that effect, but I would go through here and pick the things that I feel that he needs or doesn't know or is struggling with and go through there. And then I would create a lesson plan based off of that. So maybe this week I would pull, let's see, this is place values. So maybe I would pull place values, value of a digit, right? Pull those lessons, so lesson 1, lesson 3, lesson 6. Okay, identifying place value names, converting between place values. I would pull all of these and make a plan for them to use that. Okay, so to tie them all together. So of course, this is pre-planned-ish, right? Because it's got information for you to do, for them to work. It's a base for you to start. And then I would take and pull and combine everything that I could do, right? So again, we got lesson 1, we got lesson 3, lesson 6, lesson 7, lesson 5. I would take all of those and group them together. I would find YouTube videos to help explain it if it was something that I didn't necessarily want to teach. I would do anchor charts. I don't know if you guys do anchor charts in your house, but we have a big old roll of butcher paper because their mom does the most. But we have a big old roll of butcher paper, and I create anchor charts for them, and I put them around our office / schoolroom for them to use. And so when we're doing these assignments like this, they have a place to look at. I also at one point had them creating anchor charts inside of a spiral notebook so that they could go back and look at the spiral notebook. So that's how I would go through and use this pre-planned material. Okay. So let's skip that and go to something else. So we're talking about addition right here. So adding 2 numbers up to 5, adding 2 numbers up to 5, word problems, 2 numbers up to 7 digits. So this right here, I probably would group all of this together because at my son's age, none of this should be an issue for him. Maybe the estimations I would pull out, right? But everything else, choosing the numbers with a particular sum, okay? Adding patterns over increasing place values, I probably would pull that out. I wouldn't have him do that, but that's basically how you can use that pre-planned material to do the basics, okay? So does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, thumbs up on the screen. Thank you, Yolanda, I saw you. Thumbs up if you can, I appreciate it, okay? All right, does anybody have any questions about that? Hey, Poppy girl. Are we good? Okay, I see the thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, so that's literally all I had for you, basically breaking down how to use the pre-planned material and creating your own lessons according to that, okay? So your homework for today, okay? If you have curriculum, then I want you to, if you have like the pre-planned curriculum, I want you to create a lesson using that pre-planned material. If you don't, you can go into IXL.com just like I did without an account. You can look at the actual, like I showed you, you can look at what they have in there and create a lesson based off of the lesson plan. So we're going to do fourth grade level, lesson 1, 5, 7, and 9 on this week or on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, something like that. Okay. So I want you to plan your lesson using pre-planned material. If you have something like elemental science or IEW or ABECA, and they already have the lesson plan written out for you, I want you to customize that lesson plan to fit your family, your life. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the assignment, about what we talked about, anything like that?
I have
I
a
have a
question.
quick
Shan.
question.
Oh, I'll
Okay.
wait. Go ahead, Steph.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was helping a kid out. That's why I had to go off camera.
You're
But
good.
like you said, for the IXL, that's what I went to get some standards. So do you actually just, let's say I got the let's see. Okay, I got like the 3rd grade math up. So I would go to A and it said like numbers and comparing. And I just go through here and kind of see what we do need to work on. Do you actually take lessons from IXL, or do you go within your curriculum and pull kind of to match what they say they should be on?
Right. So what I
Okay.
would do is if I'm looking at the 3rd grade A with you. And so if I'm looking at 3rd grade A and I'm going to focus on teaching them the difference between even and odd numbers, and arithmetic rules, all of that stuff, I would personally find a YouTube video, to see if maybe a YouTube video would help reinforce. So maybe I would sit down and talk to them about like, and you know what? That's not true, because what I would do is probably with them being that young, see, the younger kids are easy to work with. And the reason why I say that is you can play games. You can make everything into a game, right? When you get to my kids' age, 15 and 17, child, you put all this work into making it fun. They're done with it in 10 minutes and they're sick of you. Like it's frustrating.
Yeah. Okay.
And so what you could do, the ladies that's in our masterminds, Kristen, one of the things she did back in the day when she was a kid, they used to double dutch, like all get out. They used to double dutch. And so part of one of her math lessons was doing double dutch for her boys. And so in that instance, for the even and the odd, you could write a bunch of numbers, go outside, get them some sun, some vitamin D, okay? Write numbers randomly on the sidewalk or whatever the case, and then have them race or jump to whatever number. Pick an even number, jump here. Pick an odd number, jump here. And every single time they do that, they will never forget that, right? Even when they're down the line, they'll be thinking like, oh, number 2, oh, that's an even number. Because remember, I jumped on that when I was outside with mom. And so I would do like some type of game or something, YouTube, anything like that. I would do, maybe if you could have, so you say even, you would be able to split something even, right? So I don't know if you guys had Skittles or fruit, grapes, whatever it is, but you could say, we have this red bin here and this blue bin here. I want you to split the 2 and tell me if it's the numbers even or not. And so based off them counting, they should be able to determine, well, this is not even because I have 5 grapes. The red bin has 3 grapes and the blue bin has 2 grapes. So, I would be trying to come up with some type of activity to reinforce what I would teach, and then YouTube on top of that. And YouTube is your friend. I'm going to be very honest with you. My favorite YouTube channel is Homeschool Pop. Okay, so check out Homeschool Pop. They have videos for any and everything. For science, I use Dr. Binocs, Binocs. And so YouTube is your friend. And I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all, we don't always feel like teaching. Y'all, I don't always want to teach. I be like, just get somewhere, get your schoolwork done. Listen, I'm tired today. Okay. My head hurt. Your daddy want me to be his girlfriend late at night, and I'm tired. Like, I'm tired, And so it's like you have to have that moment where you're like, okay, here's a YouTube video, play that YouTube video, and then do your worksheets. And as they're doing their IXL work or their worksheets, and you notice that they're not understanding the concept, then okay, I have to sit down and actually do the work with them. The video is not clicking, it's not clicking with them, whatever the case may be. Yeah, Dr. Binocs is dope. Listen, and my 17-year-old sits down and watches his videos. So his videos are they're cartoony, real good, and they explain really well, really easily. Another thing to reinforce the pre-planned stuff. So you could do worksheets. And I love when I teach classes like this because I talk too much. Hold on, I'm going to show y'all something else. And then my mentor would be like, "You're telling them too much information." Like, well, I want them to succeed though. If somebody would have told me, then maybe I would have succeeded, earlier than what I am now. Okay, so this is my homeschool tab that I have of stuff that I use. You could do this right here, ducksters.com. Can y'all see that? Ducksters.com. Chat. I don't know who this person is, but they need I don't know. We all need to just send them 99 cents, something. Because there's all kind of games and puzzles and videos, and it's all history, biographies, geography, science, and then there's games. So if I went on here, and this is where I went for my son for his physics, if I can spell physics, definitions. This is where I went for an easy way to explain to him what the definitions were, except instead of doing what was on elemental science, because they were talking way over his head and I needed a way to explain it to him in an easy way. And so I went on here and did that. Physics of motion. That was the last unit that we did. So I went on here. Okay. And there's puzzles and games. There's worksheets. Okay. You can select the word, all kind of stuff. This website right here is the bomb, and it has tons, as you can see, of options. Okay. So that's one website, ducksters.com, ducksters.com. So you can do that one. Okay. Another one that you can do is live worksheets. I like this one. So say for instance, we're working on place value. It's liveworksheets.com. If I enter in place value, okay, it'll pull up digital worksheets for me for them to do. Okay. And just click on one. All right. And I'm just going to enter in some wrong answers and some right answers. So you see what's going on. Okay. So I enter the answers in all the way down. It says click finish. Okay. It gives the option to check the answers in person, or you can email the answers. They can email the answers to you. Okay. So I have my 11-year-old do reinforcement on some of his physics stuff or some of his stuff. And either I have him click to check the answers and then I can look at it on the screen. But if I'm busy, I have him email it to me and I can look at the answers later. So if I hit the check the answers, it'll go through and tell you, it'll grade it for you. You got 0 out of 10 wrong. Okay. So that shows that my child did not understand the concept that I was teaching. So now we got to go back to square one. We're going to have to sit down on the floor and figure this thing out. Okay. So liveworksheets.com is a good one. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. There's another one I like too. Grammar Monster is good. And these are all free. I'm not paying anything for them. Okay. And these are all to reinforce whatever it is that you are working on. Okay. So we're going to do conjunctions. Okay. So I'll click on conjunctions. It explains what it is. I don't make my kids read it. There's typically a YouTube video in here that they can go through and watch. There it is. Okay. Conjunctions video they can watch. And then there's usually some type of worksheet or something that I can assign to them as well. Ignore me scrolling, y'all, because I don't see what I'm looking for. There's also worksheets as well and games that you can do for them. It's like a bubble game my kid likes to play, but now I can't find it. But yeah. Okay. So there's all different options, things that you can do to use pre-planned material, but create and make it your own. Okay. All right. It doesn't have to be what it is. And y'all know what I mean. It doesn't have to be like the book says, do it this way. And this is the way that we're going to do it. The curriculum can just be a guide. So you know how to or where to start, and then you go from there. All right.
Thank you.
You're
You have
welcome.
just blessed my whole little life. This is our 3rd year, and oh my gosh, like I needed you. Like this is awesome, though. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. You're welcome, Pavi. Pavi, I think I already told y'all this in Mastermind. You're fired.
Hey, I'm just participating.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for blessing me with your presence. Pavi and Denny are both in our homeschool masterminds, which is the group coaching that we have weekly. And so they get all this information. Every time I find something new, I'm like, hey, y'all, check this out. So but yeah, so did anybody else have any questions? Because I don't, like I said, it's lunchtime. I don't want to hold you too long, but you're more than welcome to ask any questions. I want to make sure everybody has their homework ready to go. If you have any questions about that, you guys are more than welcome to email me if you have questions, throughout the day, all that good stuff. Okay. Go ahead, Yolanda. I saw you.
Sean, thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This is my fourth and last go round with high school, but as you know, kids are different.
Yes, Lord.
So different. So when you talked about customizing the planned curriculum, what approach would you take differently with high school than you would with elementary? Because so much counts.
I wouldn't. And the only reason why is because, again, I'm in Texas, right? So I can do what I want. And that's literally pretty much what it boils down to. I would, for me, I don't know how long you've been following me, but I had a whole meltdown in my group, my homeschooling group. You remember, Denny. Wasn't crying, but I was scared at the beginning of the school year because my daughter, who is graduating this year, for the longest had wanted to go to art school. So I was educating her to go to art school. And in art school, you don't need everything that you need to go to a 4-year college. So it's her senior year. And she says, Mom, I want to go to the 4-year college. What do you mean? Like, we ain't took no ACTs, no SATs. We ain't did none of that. Like, because for the longest, her dream has always been the same. And I should have known better because kids change their minds, like they change their underwear. I should have known, that I should have prepared her for that, but I didn't, because that's what she was saying that she wanted. And so for me, the change for her was, okay, well, we're going to move forward to try to get you what you need. So we studied for the TSI. We started taking the CLEP test. She didn't like the CLEP test. So now she wants to go on campus and do dual enrollment. So now we're working on that. But now that my 15-year-old is now a freshman, it's different for him. It's like, oh no, it's go time, buddy. We're doing PSATs. We're doing ACTs. If you decide to go not to college, you don't want to go to college, that's a fine. Listen, I'm not frustrated. I'm not mad about it. Right. But if you have the option to go, you're going to be prepared. Like, we're not going to have the issue that we're having. Because right now, honestly, just being very transparent with y'all, I'm scrambling. Right. Okay. You got to get this done. You got to get this done. You got to get this done. You got this. Let's go. Like, you don't have time to, and so I wouldn't change it. I would still customize. What state are you in, Yolanda?
We're in Maryland.
Okay. Oh yeah, you did say that. And you said it's fairly about the same. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily change it. I would say this though, you don't want them people, you don't want that smoke. So if you say your kids are learning what they're learning, they need to be learning that. And so if anybody ever comes and says, your 11-year-old is taking a high school course, he sure is. Look at his messed up, jacked up handwriting, like 11-year-old taking you know what I'm saying? Like, I have that proof. So I wouldn't change that. I would just say that keep your kids involved. Their minds may change, and be prepared to move if they do change. At least have the option for them to take college courses or go to the community college if they want to. They get to choose whether or not they go. Hell, they could be like me, right? Where I was all ready to go to college and I got in that sucker and was like, nah, fam, this ain't for me. Now I'm regretting it now. Like right now I'm sitting here thinking like, dang, I want to go back to college because I could have did that thing. But back in the day, I was making money, at 18, 19 years old, I was killing the game. I was making money, having my own apartment and car and all that stuff. And it looked better to me. And so that was a choice that I made. But yeah, at least prepare them or give them the option. Take the PSAT, take the SAT, take the ACT. You don't want to go to college, that's fine. But at least you have the option to go if you decide later on. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Sean.
How did I not know that this was Londa? I just looked at your name.
I just put it in there.
Hilarious. Hilarious. How did I not know that that was you? Okay. All right. Yeah, you've been around for a while. Yeah, I appreciate you. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for y'all. Does anybody have any more questions about their homeschooling? Didn't you tell Anna I said, hey, I see her in the background? That's my friend.
I will. Her and AJ both are back there, and he was looking too. So.
Oh, hey, boogers. Those my friends, y'all. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about look at the baby. Do y'all have any questions about the homework that's coming up for tomorrow? Do y'all have anything that y'all need help with as of now? Okay. All right.
Sean, you sent in the replay, right? If we need it.
Well, yeah, y'all get access to it. Remind me if I don't put it in the group.
Okay.
Everybody gets
Thank
access to it, but you know, Masterminds gets different access. So remind me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Y'all are absolutely welcome. I'm going to stay here for a second. So if you want to ask a question, but you don't want to do it in front of everybody, I will wait. Otherwise, y'all are dismissed. No, I'm playing. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. The replay of this one should be up later on today. I'll email it to you just like I did previously. All I ask is that you don't share, right? Because this is my content, my hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears type of work. But otherwise, I will see y'all tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sean, I have a question.
Sure.
Both of my children, they're homeschooled. I mean, they're in ninth grade. You know, they're homeschooled. They're in ninth grade, but coming out of school, they came out of second grade. But they both had an IEP, and my 15-year-old, he just got diagnosed with autism.
Okay.
So that kind of like helped me understand a lot of his delay when we're learning. So I'm just trying to figure out how to keep him, you know, kind of like up, not too far behind because of his autism.
Right. So I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I try to be very honest with you. I tell you guys all the time, special needs is not my bag. I'm just not, I have read books about it, but it's so detailed that unless I am literally educating myself, dealing with it myself, I try not to speak on it. What I will say to you more than anything else is the first thing I would say is check with, what state are you in, Juana? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I'm in Maryland.
Okay. Check and see if you can get IEP or services based off of him being diagnosed with autism, him officially being diagnosed. Check and see if they will assist in any type of way.
No, unless he will have to be in the school system.
Okay. Like Texas.
I tried that. He would have, only way he could do like online, like learning with them.
Yeah.
But he would have to be in the school system in order to get that IEP help.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I just choose not to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to homeschooling. I want to be, again, I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you need, and I don't want to be up here making up stuff. I can send you the book that I have read that I found to be helpful. There is a lady that does a homeschooling page, and it's special needs homeschool page. Denny, that was just on here, is homeschooling hers, but they're younger, and 2 of her 3 are on the spectrum in some type of way. So that, but her kids are younger, so that may not help you in that instance. But let me see what I can find. I do know there are a couple people out there that, so I posted that link in there for you. I do know a couple people that are homeschooling that are in special needs, but I'm scared to mislead. You know what I mean? I'm not confident in that. So yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I just thought I may ask.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, you're
Mhm.
welcome. All right. So I'm gonna stay on here as long as y'all need me to. You let me know. I'm good.
Hey, Sean.
Hey,
Now I'm having a little bit of a slow moment. I'm trying to since the kids are getting older, I'm trying to become more organized and with the planning and be
Mhm.
more intentional with it. Because usually we just do the videos and I kind of come up with something, throw it on the calendar, and when I notice they're going through something. But what do you mean by the pre-plan? I'm on IXL. I mean, this not. I don't know if I would use this stuff. I guess I could. But what do you want exactly for homework?
for the homework. So basically, I want you to, and you don't necessarily have to use IXL, but I want you to plan a pre-planned lesson. So fix it so it fits your babies. So you may not use IXL, but because IXL is already kind of laid out for you, maybe you pick a math lesson or a science lesson and you go through and you're just going to pick, okay, we're going to do these worksheets on IXL. We're going to watch this video on this day and do it this way. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. So
Um,
I can do it from the requirements from our homework then?
yeah, you can do
Stuff we
whatever
get
you,
from the homeworks?
yeah, it doesn't have to be IXL. It could be anything. It could be whatever it is that you use, as far as that's
Okay.
concerned. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you consider that pre-planned since it's really just kind of like bullet points.
Yeah, pre-planned-ish. That's why I said, yeah, it's kind of pre-planned-ish. Everything is laid out for you, but you have to determine when, what time, where to use it. And so what I want you to do is, even if you don't have pre-planned material, it was just something that you could use as an option to see, okay, well, I'm going to use this on this day with this video, and we're going to do this game to reinforce what we just learned or
Okay,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
got you now. I have
Okay.
a slow moment, no problem.
No,
Thank
you
you.
didn't. No, you're good. You're good. You're
All
good.
right, have a good one.
You too. You too. Bye. All right, Jacinda, it is just you and I. Did you have any more questions, or you and me? Yeah, that's correct. Did you have any questions? All right, I'm going to assume that you don't, but if you do, you are more than welcome to email me at help@seanthehomeschoolguru.com, and I will, no, I was just curious to hear what, oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.